Morning, guys. I got my look what Tony got me. The Elvis t-shirt. Hi, Tony. Thank you so much. Tony got me lots of gifts, but this is the most recent one. Look. Whoop. Elvis. Yeah, come on. Look at that. And it's size small. It actually fits me. A bit tight on the tummy, but I love it. Tony, I love it. You're amazing. You're too good to me. All of you that send me gifts, thank you. Anyone that buys me a coffee, thank you. Anyone sends me a soup, thank you. Thank you. It shows me you like what I do. And I love being shown by you guys that you like what I do. It's very important to me. So thank you so much. So I'm going to have a cup of tea with you guys. I had a lot of topics this morning to go through, and I lined up about 10 different things. I found some vintage footage, rare footage. I had some footage of, sadly, Elvis's, the day it was announced that he had passed away. Some really old, footage that I've never seen before. There was many those kind of things that I was going to discuss and show you guys at Defending Elvis, yeah? So, I'm doing a bit of exercise, I do a little bit of weightlifting, I do a bit of running, stuff, go for walks. And whilst I was doing my weightlifting, this video came up, personal conversation with Elvis. I have a feeling I've watched it before, but I don't think that I really absorbed it and took it on board. I may have even reviewed it before, but this time, for some reason, I really listened to it. And I thought, bloody hell, there's some pretty important stuff here being said. This is Elvis Fans Matters, a fantastic YouTube channel. Obviously, Billy and Joe. Billy is Elvis's cousin, yeah? Joe is married to Billy. So this is important, yeah? The Elvis fans take what Billy says, and Joe, because they were both there. They grew up with him. Obviously, Billy actually grew up with him. Joe comes along later. But she was there in the early 60s. So she was first-hand knowledge of almost everything happening to Elvis, in and around Elvis. I think Billy didn't go on the tours, so Billy was very much at home, yeah? So whichever home it was, Graceland's most of the time, I would have thought. So we take very seriously what Joe says. Now, I will always say this, doesn't matter what Joe and Billy say, it's their memories, their recollection from their point of view. So many of us will see things differently. Even though we were there, we will see it from our personal emotions, our personal way that we look at the world. So different people have different ways of expressing their memories, yeah? But I do take it very seriously, what Billy and Joe says. I'm a big supporter of their channel, and I'm a big supporter of Memphis Mafia Kid. So while I was doing my little bit of exercise, I thought, I was just listening, yeah? But the question straight away, it was like, did Priscilla love Elvis? No, and did Elvis still love Priscilla even after everything that had happened? Obviously, Elvis caught Priscilla being unfaithful. She knew that Elvis was unfaithful. They were both obviously not happy, obviously up to no good. Yeah, they're both as bad as each other, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Now, I just want to quickly mention that I have been listening to the audio of this book that was posted on our Defending Elvis Facebook page. Someone sent it me. I have read this book, but when they sent it to me, I thought, let's just put it on in the background and just listen to it. The unusual thing is that the audible version that was sent to me is Priscilla's voice. I think for you guys, some of you may find the voice a bit irritating. I found it very odd. Priscilla reading the book Elvis and Me. Obviously, it's a reinvention of the truth. It's a rewriting of the truth. It's all about making Priscilla look like the poor victim and Elvis the bad guy. Complete, in my opinion, a load of bullshit. There are many things in that book that are being twisted to make Elvis look small, to make him look bad, to make him look like controlling, abusive. In some ways, how can I say it? It's very much written, poor me, because I was so young. Even though a lot of the book, things happen when she is over 18 and after the marriage as well, where she's in her 20s. But it's very much written in a way to say, oh, I was 14 the whole time I knew Elvis to the day he died. I know that sounds silly, but it's the age thing keeps propping up. That Elvis was the dominant person in charge is the theme of that. It goes all the way through this book. So I listened to a lot of it, a good at least 2 hours, maybe longer. And all of the wording, in my opinion, is twisted against Elvis to make Elvis look bad. She also tells very sweet stories. She throws all them in as well. But the overall feeling of this book is poor me. Poor me, I'm a victim. Yeah, which I don't like. She also says she refers to other people's books, you know, the tabloids as well, magazines, like, oh my God, look, they've all trashed Elvis. But I've come along, me, Priscilla, Elvis's ex-wife, by the way, who had betrayed him, was unfaithful to him more than once. Oh, now I've written my book. Everything's fine. I will set wrongs to rights and I will tell the truth. And everyone will believe every word I say. No one will challenge me or disagree with me. So this is now the Bible of Elvis's life and history, which is bullshit. This is a book of lies, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only, not fact, just an opinion. Now, there will be some things in this book that are true, but guys, everything's been twisted. Now, I have to repeat, we are not a Priscilla hate channel. I don't hate Priscilla, but I don't agree with the way she has manipulated the public. I feel the public have been very gullible. I also feel that Elvis hasn't been able to defend himself in any way because he's not with us. She also portrays herself as if they were still married when he died, as if they were still deeply in love when he died. No, guys. As if they were very close friends when he died. No. Yeah, as if she saved the day with Graceland. No. It isn't true. In my opinion, everything I say is just a discussion for opinions and a chat and not fact. Right, so we are going to review this book again. We are going to, it's going to take, I'm going to carry on listening to the audible of this book. I know that many of you are offended that I even read it, that I even talk about it, but I have to do that to defend Elvis properly. We do have to read this book, and we do have to read her new book, which we know is going to be a load of bullshit. The new book will twist everything to her advantage. I'm worried for Lisa Marie Presley, how the new book possibly may make Lisa look very bad. I hope it doesn't. Yeah. So that's down the road. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to have that book. Yeah. So anyway, guys. So what I'm gonna do, I just want to top up my tea. Let me just I'll just quickly top up my tea. It's what time is it? It's around 11:30 a.m. And just let the kettle boil quickly. So it's around 11:30 a.m. My plan is I want to do a part one. So I want to do a part one and a part two of EFM's video and review it, criticize, critique it. I'm going to be very respectful to Billy and Joe. I'm just going to give my take on things as a fan. I only come at this as a fan on behalf of Elvis fans and Team Elvis. Yeah. But we do come at it from the point of view of defending Elvis and Lisa. So there will be a twist leaning towards the fact that we are called Defending Elvis. Yeah. So I'm going to do part one. The part one will discuss Elvis and Priscilla. Right, let's just put that in there. Right, just see. So part one, guys, will tend to be more about Elvis and Priscilla. Right, my tea, a bit of honey in the tea. Okay, so part one will be more about Priscilla and Elvis and what happens between them two, Elvis's feelings, Priscilla's feelings, yeah. Obviously from Billy and Joe's point of view, they both comment. Part two is going to be very much Ginger. Elvis. there is a section in this that discusses Ginger and the fact that Elvis was unfaithful to Ginger. Billy actually says it. So, which when I heard those words come out of Billy's mouth, I was like, I think that's the first time I have clearly heard Billy say Elvis was unfaithful to Ginger. Have I heard it correctly? If I haven't, I apologise, but I'm pretty sure that's what he says. If I'm wrong, let me know. Tell me if you see it differently. Right, let's just press play, Elvis. We're never going to do it. Okay, so welcome to Defending Elvis, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Here goes.
Okay, we're gonna we're gonna bring up a few old stories that.
So you may have to turn the volume up. It is very low on the volume. There's a bit of a hiss in the background, but you have to just concentrate. Listen to every word. It's very important. This is one of the most telling Billy Smith, Joe Smith videos I've ever watched. Yeah, this is a big deal, guys.
War stories.
War stories, yeah. This one here, I just at the last, I know about the last, I would say 2-3 months of Elvis's life. We were in Lisa's room and we were talking about all kinds of different things. And
so remember, he's talking about Elvis, yeah? Billy is saying, Billy Smith, Elvis's first cousin, that he had a very private, personal conversation with Elvis. I think he just said in Lisa's room, yeah? Obviously, we know Lisa's room was upstairs. So this is a big deal, guys. He's sharing a very private details here, things that maybe he's never said before. I don't know if he's ever said it before. So this, to me, is very important.
got around to talking about when Elvis met Priscilla and things, naturally, everything that happened. I know that a lot of times that the people have asked it, and so I'm going to try to give you an answer to some of the things that went on. Elvis and, of course, Priscilla and Elvis, when they first got married and all, they were a happy couple, and everything, seemed to be going well for them. Naturally, they had their disagreements at times, but what couple didn't? I think they got along fairly well.
So I wanted to go back a little bit on that. So I was distracted by a comment, but let's keep going.
Everything, seemed to be going well for them.
So Billy says, concerning Elvis and Priscilla, everything seemed to be going well for them. Now, we need to get the timeline right here, because everything seemed to be going well for them. But obviously, as a fan, I come at it differently. We've got when Priscilla moves over, first to stay with Vernon and Dee. We know Elvis was living as a single man. So to me, that isn't everything going well, with respect. Then we know the engagement happens. We also know that after they got married, they were pregnant straight away. Lisa Marie is born. And then 2 or 3 months after Lisa Marie is born, still a baby, in nappies basically, that Priscilla has admitted to having an affair. She calls him Mark in her book, Elvis and Me. I'm pretty sure it's page 262. I'm not going to read the whole section, but she had started to fall for Mark, Steve Peck, the dance instructor. Let me just see if this is it. She basically says, she describes her feelings for Mark. Let's have a look. I appreciated spending time with him alone. Let's have a look. I had a brief affair and decided to end it. She also says she would think about Mark, Steve Peck, whilst she was home with Elvis. Yeah, don't forget, they had a beautiful new home together, Priscilla and Elvis. This is why it's so shocking. To me, I've always been shocked by the fact that Priscilla could have an affair so soon after Lisa Marie was born. Because come on, guys, when you just had a baby, everything's happy and amazing, and you're still healing as well. But it's a very special time. Pregnancy is a very special time. You really bond with the bump, yeah? Both parents do, Elvis and Priscilla. I accept Elvis was away and coming back doing his on the movie sets. But it's a special time, guys. I would say almost definitely the pregnancy, the engagement, the pregnancy, the marriage was once it was announced Priscilla was pregnant, I would have thought Elvis took that very seriously and wanted to be with her as much as possible. Probably quite a romantic time. Yeah. Don't forget, Priscilla and Elvis did have good times and bad times. I do think may have been in love on and off. Some people say infatuation. But I will say this. I believe in my heart of hearts that through the pregnancy, Elvis was faithful. I really believe that. So to hear of Priscilla being unfaithful a few months after the poor Lisa Maria is born, less than a year after the wedding, don't forget they married May the 1st, 1967, is pretty heartbreaking, pretty shocking, but it happened because she's admitted it in her book. Okay, so let's keep going. So Billy does sort of say, oh, you know, things were going pretty good. Yeah. After what I've just said, I personally don't think things were going pretty good with Elvis and Priscilla. I think they had a very troubled relationship. And I think both of them were making mistakes. As Billy goes on to say, Elvis couldn't be faithful. Well, my attitude to that is he had phases of faithfulness. So he would have periods, maybe hopefully through the pregnancy, maybe when they first get engaged, maybe leading up to the wedding. I have heard Joe Esposito say that Elvis sometimes would be faithful, but then he would go back to his old ways. So I will never accept that Elvis was constantly unfaithful day in, day out for the whole of his life. I don't believe that. I do believe that if you see the big picture, generally Elvis was unfaithful, but so were the women. Priscilla, definitely. Linda, maybe. Now, I love Linda. Do you know what? There's even bloody rumours that Ginger Alden was still liked. Is it her ex-boyfriend? Who knows? We don't know the truth. We weren't there. Nothing against Ginger Alden. I love her. I love Linda Thompson as well. Let's keep going.
Naturally, you know, they had their disagreements at times, but...
Yeah, naturally. Come on, they argued. Everyone argues. Like, it's been mentioned recently that Lisa would overhear Ginger arguing with Elvis. Pretty normal.
What couple didn't. I think they got along fairly well.
So did they get along fairly well? I would say they must have done because Billy was there. He watched it. But I also think behind closed doors, they were probably not getting on well and arguing quite a lot. Yeah. I think Priscilla and Elvis could both be very difficult. Yeah. Just an opinion, guys.
You know, and, but, you know, Elvis, being Elvis, I've always said, you know, he was just never faithful to any one woman at any given time.
So, you know, me and Billy do disagree a bit on that. I know that he was there. The first thing you guys are going to do is message me and say, oh, Billy was there. What do you know? It's none of your business. You didn't grow up with him. You're not his cousin. But I do honestly believe Elvis had phases of faithfulness. I do agree. Overall, Elvis was unfaithful many times. But I also think there was reasons. So this is, as a fan, how I see it. If you break down every relationship Elvis had, and you go to, even if you go way back to the mid-50s, and you go month for month, yeah, even week for week, maybe day for day, there is something happening. Yeah, every time Elvis turns his head and likes a different girl, something's just happened. Yeah. It isn't straightforward as, oh, whilst Elvis was with one woman, he wanted to shag everything that moved. Yeah? Something happened. Look at Priscilla's behaviour. Unfaithful. Yeah? You get it? He would have his head turned by Anne Margaret, for example. He's on the movie set. Even June Junico, when he first meets her very briefly, but then sees her again months later. Anita Wood. Everything was great. then Elvis would go away to work. I always think you had snippets of faithfulness, but then else things would happen. Sometimes Elvis would be upset with the girl. I'd lost trust with the girl. Yeah, we have to, I think as fans, to be fair to Elvis, we have to break down his life week to week and decide when he was unfaithful and faithful. And same goes for the women. Decide when they were faithful and unfaithful. Like Linda Thompson, people mentioned David Briggs. A few people have mentioned Ginger Alden's ex. Yeah. So remember, people like June Junico and Anita Wood, they go on and get married quite quickly, don't they, guys? So there's a bigger picture. I don't think it's fair that Elvis is always the bad guy. Elvis is always the one who's doing the wrong. When sometimes there's much more to the story if we do our research and try and understand it. But I do also fully take on board and respect that Billy was there. He grew up with Elvis. He was with him. So he had first-hand knowledge as well. So I take that very seriously.
And we were talking about, different things like that, and it was brought up, he said, that him and Priscilla, they raised Lisa together, and she would come and spend time with him. He said, but, they, too, he said, that Priscilla, she was doing her thing and he was doing his. And what he kind of meant by that is the fact that, where they don't get back together. And he said, look.
Big question. Were they going to get back together? This is obviously after, maybe after the divorce was official, or was it after they were just not together, waiting for the divorce to become official? Don't forget, Priscilla was secretly seeing Mike Stone, I think, through 1971 for a year. Then it all comes out. Remember, Mike Stone was married, a karate champion. He was married to Frances Stone. Allegedly, she's pregnant, and they had a small girl. So a marriage was broken up here. Yeah. So one Priscilla who went after Mike Stone, she went after him. Don't forget that. She chatted him up. She knew Mike Stone was married with a kid, with two kids, really. This is pretty serious stuff that Priscilla had done. She did a lot of damage in this relationship. Now, she'll see it differently. She'll see that she was forced to do it because of Elvis being controlling, grooming, unfaithful, all the rest of it. Everything is always blamed unfairly on Elvis. But look at Priscilla's behavior concerning Mike Stone, Frances Stone, and that whole thing. It's pretty horrible. Pretty horrible. A whole family was broken up. And ultimately, Lisa Marie is taken away from her father to live with a complete stranger. You've heard me say it 100 times, but that happened. Lisa Marie was dragged away from Elvis, from Graceland, to live with a complete stranger, this giant karate champion.
He said, I just don't ever foresee us getting together. Because I had asked him, I said, you think y'all? He said, no. He said there was, way too many bridges being burned behind them, And
so don't forget, he's talking about a very private chat that he had with his cousin Elvis in Lisa Marie's bedroom upstairs in Graceland.
And he said, I'll never go down that road again.
So there we are. Elvis is saying, no, never going to go back to her. It's over. Let's hear what else he said.
He said, I enjoyed our marriage for a short time. He said, but then, it got where, when I was performing.
Right. So I need to comment. I have to comment and review on this, guys. YouTube will not let me just play this. So please don't comment and message me saying, why are you interrupting? I have to, otherwise YouTube won't let me play this video. So I want to just play that a little bit again because it's so important, guys. Just listen to it a minute.
I enjoyed our marriage for a short time. He said.
So I enjoyed our marriage for a short time. Now we have to break it down. Yeah, they get married May the 1st, 1967. pregnant straight away. So there's the marriage. Yeah, 9 months later, 1st of February 1968, Lisa Marie's born. The whole world watched Lisa Marie be born. It was a very public birth. Videos, pictures all over the world. The whole world was happy for Priscilla and Elvis. Remember, they had a very iconic image, didn't they? I always use this picture. That, you know, the whole world fell in love with the love affair, the romance of Priscilla and Elvis. It really was ingrained in people's minds, especially once now they've had a child and they're married. But we know within months Priscilla is unfaithful. There's a possibility Elvis was unfaithful through that period. So it sort of goes against what has just been said. I want to just play it one more time.
Never go down that road again. He said, I enjoyed our marriage for a short time. He said.
So could he have enjoyed the marriage if all these things have happened? He's just caught Priscilla being unfaithful, which she's admitted in her book, months after Lisa Marie was born, when Lisa Marie was just a baby. Could you imagine Elvis holding Lisa Marie at home and Priscilla is thinking about Steve Peck, the dance instructor? Get it, guys? So did Elvis enjoy the marriage? I would say when Elvis hadn't found anything out, so through the pregnancy, I'm not sure how often Elvis was home. He probably did enjoy the marriage. They probably had a happy period through the pregnancy, maybe after the engagement. I think on and off they had happy times in 62, 63, 64, 65. But remember, there is unfaithfulness from concerning people like Anne Margaret and other people. Yeah. So did Elvis enjoy the marriage? I think sometimes. But to catch your partner being unfaithful when you've just had a baby, come on, guys. It's almost impossible to come back from that. I've always felt that after that point, their marriage really was over and they went into a period of a fake marriage. This is just me as a fan. Always thought after he catches Priscilla, there's a fake marriage that takes over. Yeah. Now we see them out in public. They go to the awards, JC Awards, and I think they see Muhammad Ali and Tom Jones. There's a few sweet little stories. There's some sweet videos showing them holding beautiful Lisa Marie. But it does all seem like a bit of a farce to me, a bit of an act. I don't think they were happy after she was unfaithful with Steve Peck, the dance instructor. We see Elvis go on to the 68 comeback special, which is the biggest comeback special in history, in my opinion. So he comes out of the ashes like a phoenix and puts everything right. He's the king of the world again. Yeah. Overtaking the Beatles again. Yeah. But the relationship is in tatters. There's even a picture showing Steve Peck at the 68 comeback special. Yeah. So let's keep going, guys.
But then, it got where, when I was performing in Vegas, that we were not together a lot of times. And, he said,
so he's jumped forward to the Vegas comeback, another massive comeback, 69 and onwards.
She found out I was seeing other women. I found out she was seeing another guy.
I like that. At least there's admittance here that it wasn't just Elvis. It was Priscilla up to no good as well. Also, I will say this, not all the women that Elvis was seeing he would have sexual relationships with. A lot of the time he just loved companionship.
And he said, gosh, it just, it broke my heart, And he said, that I actually wanted him, I wanted him killed. He said.
Okay. Sorry, my wife's in the background. He said, I actually wanted him killed. Obviously, that's been brought up in the book, Elvis, What Happened. I do have the book, but it's fallen apart. There it is. One day we're going to review this book. Where's the cover? Believe it or not, these books are really valuable. I think Linda sent me this. Linda, how are you? So there's a description of how Elvis lost his temper, was climbing up the walls. About Mike Stone. I mean, come on. Elvis was an acquaintance of Mike Stone. Elvis really put Mike Stone on a pedestal because he was a karate champion. Elvis immersed himself in the karate world. He had his own dojo. Tiger Man. Elvis was called the Tiger Man. So for Priscilla to be unfaithful with a karate champion, a very, very successful karate champion, was a massive smack in the face for Elvis. He really did lose his temper. But we know, guys, he was just very angry. He was never going to have him killed. Elvis didn't have it in him to get anyone killed. It was just a massive overreaction, a loss of temper.
I really had crossed my mind, but he said, I later realized it was all my pride and my ego, that was wanting him killed.
Yeah, I mean, just in case you just joined us, guys, this is a very private conversation that Billy Smith, Elvis' cousin, had with Elvis upstairs in Gracelands in Lisa Marie's bedroom.
And I'm thinking to myself, golly, he's opened up about this like he never has before.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so this is a real intimate conversation with Elvis.
so, I'd asked him different questions, He said, I said, well, do you still love Priscilla? He said, yeah. He said, like a lot of the women I went with, he said, I love them. He said, I love Priscilla. Always will in a lot of ways. He said, we gotta.
So please comment on that, guys. Obviously, Elvis is, he's saying that he still loves Priscilla. He will love her in a lot of ways. It's pretty obvious that the love has changed. He loves her as the mother of Lisa Marie. The love is different now. It's not sexual relationship type love. It's, you're the mother of my daughter, the most important person in my life. So I love you in that way.
A daughter together, and he said, but as far as ever getting back together, he said, that'll never happen. He said,
So the fans, this is an important thing. Many of the fans would love, want to know the answer to that. Did Elvis ever want to get back with Priscilla? Now, there's all different stories, guys. There's many fans, especially Priscilla fans, that think they were deeply in love. They were inevitably going to get back together. They had a beautiful romance. They've really been, I think, brainwashed and tricked into really believing there was a beautiful romance that never ended. Sorry, guys out there, to the Priscilla fans. I respect you. I don't hate Priscilla, but guys, there wasn't a beautiful romance after they split up. They were not still really, really close friends and loved being together, and like Priscilla likes to say that they were. In my opinion, for entertainment purposes, not a fact, just an opinion. Could you imagine how Elvis felt catching Priscilla being unfaithful more than once? And then she attacks him for the devastating second divorce settlement that she promised there would only be one divorce settlement, which was very fair. The second divorce settlement was very brutal, even a debt being placed on Gracelands. So, on behalf of Priscilla and her lawyers. So Elvis felt like he was going to lose Gracelands to Priscilla. So did Vernon, I think. So there's more to it.
he said, I just don't, he said, I don't think I can live with that. And that's what he means.
Yeah, and I agree with that. How is Elvis able to live with the fact that he's caught her being unfaithful more than once?
He said, well, knowing that she was seeing another guy and has been with other guys, he said,
Other guys, yeah? More than one.
He said, and I'm sure she thinks the same thing about me.
I have to be fair. Priscilla, Elvis was unfaithful sometimes, but we just don't know how many of the people that Elvis was seeing secretly, that it was a sexual relationship. Because a lot of the time it was just friendships.
Being with other women, he said. And I said, well, Elvis, what about Ginger?
Right, so we're going to stop it here because that is a part 2. Yeah. So this is the bit that really surprised me. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that Elvis was unfaithful to Ginger. Clearly, like 100%. I don't, especially Elvis's first cousin. So we're going to stop it there, and we're going to come back to a part 2. I'm going to upload this onto our video channel. I will upload it live so we can discuss it. It's a big deal, guys. It's a big deal. Sorry that I had to keep interrupting so much. Obviously, I have my version of things as a fan. I try to represent the Elvis fans that are upset with Priscilla, that want to defend Elvis. Yeah. I also, it's difficult for me because Billy Smith was there. I highly respect Billy Smith and Joe. So I see it differently because I'm a fan. I see it differently than a cousin. Yeah. So I'm really pleased that Billy has shared such a private conversation that he had upstairs with Elvis, with the fans. I love the fact that we get to hear stories and Billy's words concerning what went on, especially with this because it's such a private chat. Yeah. This was 2 years ago. Yeah. I noticed Joe is very quiet on this. She's letting Billy get it off his system, say what he needs to say. Now, I will always say this. This is Billy Smith's version of things. I'm not calling him a liar. I'm saying from his memories, from his point of view, from him being there, how he saw things from his emotions. Yeah? We all see things differently, don't we? Even the same people in the same room can see things differently because we are emotionally connected to these things. Elvis being his cousin. Elvis being someone that Billy actually grew up with, came from Tupelo with to Memphis. So you have to weigh that in. As a fan, I'm just an outsider looking in. I'm trying to give my perspective on things as a fan who was never there, who didn't know Elvis, didn't grow up with Elvis. So we're a fan channel. It's all for entertainment purposes, just opinions, not facts. So guys, this is part 1. I'm going to upload it now. Thanks for joining me on my channel on Defending Elvis Presley. And we're going to come back to a part 2, and part 2 we'll discuss Ginger, Alden. I think there's even mentions of Linda as well. So part 2 is going to be pretty interesting, guys. I'm going to upload it live so we can have interactions with the comments. So you guys, as Elvis fans, Elvis defenders, can put your comments in. Thanks, guys. Right, let's put it. Okay, I found that fascinating, seriously, and I thank Billy and Joe Smith. I thank Elvis Fans Matter. Please subscribe to Elvis Fans Matter. It's a fantastic channel. I love it. Same goes for Memphis Mafia Kid, a fantastic channel. Danny, I'm a big fan of the Smiths, always will be. Thanks, guys. Right, let's upload it. See you later, alligator.